India has been uniquely blessed to have received the good news of Jesus Christ from the great apostle St. Thomas. Kerala, hailed as the cradle of Christianity in India, underwent a great social and religious awakening in the 19th century under the charismatic leadership of Saint Kuriakose Elias Chavra. It was divine providence that brought together three great men, Father Thomas Palekal, his friend Father Thomas Purukara, and the young Father Kuriakose Chavra. This trio would later become the pillars of CMI congregation and Church of Kerala. These men of great vision, wisdom and holiness started at Mannanam on May 11, 1831, a spiritual movement which eventually paved the way to form the first indigenous religious congregation in India, Carmelites of Mary Immaculate, CMI. Soon monasteries were started in different parts of Kerala. The multifarious activities launched by Saint Chavra were carried across the South and North Kerala by the early members with great enthusiasm and success. A quantum leap in the expansion and growth of the congregation was witnessed immediately when she was invited to take up missions in North India.
When Eugene D'Souza, Archbishop of Nagpur, visited the CMI congregation at Ernakulam, he was attracted by the development of CMIs. So he thought that the CMI congregation could do something in the North Indian mission.
Chanda, the first Syro-Malabar diocese outside Kerala, was entrusted to the CMI congregation in 1961. The success saga of Chanda would follow in taking up mission in Sagar, and later Bijnor, Rajkot and Jagdalpur would join the cohort which has become flourishing dioceses in North India. Sagar was the part of Archdiocese of Bhopal. His Grace Archbishop Eugene D'Souza, then Archbishop of Bhopal, wrote to the Holy See proposing to hand over the three districts Sagar, Raisen and Vidisha to the CMI congregation. His Holiness Pope Paul VI, by his decree Quo Apitos, constituted the Apostolic Exarchate of Sagar on July 29, 1968 and entrusted the Exarchate to the care of CMI congregation under the Prior General. Father Clemens Thotungal was appointed by the Holy See as the Exarch of Sagar. Monsignor Clemens, along with Father Paul Koripat, CMI, reached Sagar and took over the charge of the Exarchate on 1st November 1968 from His Grace Eugene D'Souza, the Archbishop of Bhopal. The story, A Journey to the Unknown, the history of Sagar Mission and St. Paul Province, Bhopal, unfolds here. A few days later, the first batch of 4 fathers, Papias, Simon Stock, Anthony Etical, Cassius, and Brother Vincent arrived in Sagar. Not long after, Fathers Raymond, Basil, Joseph, Abraham, Anthony Chiramil, Prosperous, Diego, and Gerald came to the assistance of the Exarch.
When the Holy See erected the Syro-Malabar Exarchate of Sagar in 1968, it was entrusted to the CMI congregation, and Mar Clemens Thotungal was its first exarch. Many mission stations and parishes were started by CMI priests. They had their own vision and charism, and they served the diocese with great enthusiasm and commitment.
After the arrival of CMIs in about 2 months' time, the church named after Holy Family was constructed in Eidkhedi of Raisen district. In 1970, the Exarchate was entrusted to Devmata province, Thrissur. Considering the enthusiasm of CMI missionaries, the district of Guna which was part of Ajmer Jaipur diocese, was added to the Exarchate of Sagar on 2nd April 1973. When Sagar Mission was entrusted to the CMI congregation in 1968, there were only 4 institutions: St. Raphael Church Sagar, Sacred Heart Church Bina, St. Francis Orphanage and Church Shampura, and St. Joseph's Convent School Sagar.
When I think of CMI congregation, we the Sisters of Jesus completely owe to the CMI presence in the Saga diocese. From the inception of our congregation, we were with great concern and love looked after by the CMI fathers.
The CMIs in Sagar has always been a great support to CMC. In the initial days, that is in 1970, when our sisters reached in Pavitra Hriday Bhavan Bina, CMI fathers has helped our sisters to learn the language, has assisted to adjust with the entirely new circumstances with their brotherly encouragement and support.
Under the dynamic leadership of Monsignor Clemens Totungal, CMI, and through the hard work of CMI missionaries, 37 mission stations and institutions, including churches, convents, schools, dispensaries, etc., began to spring up in all the 4 districts in the diocese. Along with the primary task of building up the institutions and activities, the pioneering CMI missionaries were conscious of developing personnel for the diocese. They established formation houses and recruited seminarians for the new diocese. In 1972, Father Diego CMI was appointed its first mission superior. The Carmel Ashram, a gift from Mr. Lawrence and Mrs. Rebecca, the first CMI house in MP, began to function both as CMI regional headquarters and as the aspirants' house. In 1975, Father Joseph Neelangavil, CMI, was appointed as Regional Superior of Sagar Mission. On February 26, 1977, the Exarchate of Sagar was raised to the status of a diocese, and Monsignor Clemens Totungal, CMI, was appointed as the first Bishop of Sagar. Sagar Mission was raised to the status of a CMI region and named as St. Paul Region as a dependent region of the Devmata province on December 4, 1977. On January 25, 1991, St. Paul Region was elevated to St. Paul Vice Province, then to Province on August 29, 1996. Under the effective leadership of regional superiors and provincials, the province made steady progress in all the realms. By 1990, the diocese was blessed with several holy and able young diocesan priests. It is at this juncture the province was decided to reach out to the neighboring diocese. The first institution of the province outside Sagar, St. Paul School Bhopal, was established in 1988.
I'm really happy that CMIs are very active in Bhopal, and that is another blessing for us. In the sense that from what I know for the past 11 years, I have seen that the fathers and the members here are ready to venture into any place and do not refuse any offer. They try to make adjustments, and I found that very beautifully. That some time back I asked the provincial, Father Justin, to provide one member of their congregation urgently. It was very essential, and he somehow managed to find someone, one of the members, and then he offered the services of this member to one of our parish, which is a very clear sign that they are ready to go anywhere, and then their services definitely are appreciated. And thank the superiors, starting with the Superior General, and I am happy that there is a provincialate here, the provincial house, and then definitely for any necessity we can approach them, and they also find it easy to communicate and cooperate. And this kind of cooperation and collaboration certainly is a sign of witness and a very good example for the whole church.
In 1991, the province was entrusted with the responsibility of developing and establishing the Catholic communities and institutions in Narsinghpur district of Jabalpur diocese.
CMI fathers have taken great effort, a long effort, a determined effort to cultivate this mission, has made a great impact. Not because of money, not because of our any ability or oratory skill, but simply living a life of detachment with a minimum. People get impacted and people get attracted, people get impressed, and which has made definite marks in the lives of hundreds of people around here.
In 2003, St. Paul Province has taken up the responsibility of developing 7 blocks of Chhindwara districts of Archdiocese of Nagpur, starting with Lourdes Mata Church, Badkuhi. In 2016, the province has taken up the tutoring mission in the diocese of Itanagar near India-China border. Meanwhile, the members of the province have taken up mission and pastoral work in South Africa, Germany, USA, Brazil and Australia. At present, 23 members are working outside India. In the Holy Eucharist, we find the true inspiration and nourishment for a complete dedication to Jesus Christ our Lord. Before we begin our day and our services, we gather around the Eucharistic table in adoration, praise and worship, divine office, meditation, and to participate in the breaking of the bread with deep faith to draw strength and grace for apostolic life. Our schools and colleges have set a benchmark of unmatched quality, excelling in academics and co-curricular activities. The aim of education, as Saint Chara envisaged, is to become spiritually deep-rooted, morally upright, emotionally mature, intellectually erudite, efficient in communication, sublime in attitude, sober in behavior, and active in social concern. We have Hindi medium schools along with English medium schools to ensure quality education for the less privileged, which is met through providing them with scholarships and concessions. To ensure the quality education of the poor and underprivileged, we have 2 English medium schools in interior villages and boarding houses for poor children. Sant Chawra National Academy School, Chandameta, has become an all-inclusive school in spirit and letter, setting a role model for others to follow, with specially abled children admitted proactively with hostel facility. Along with academic excellence, schools have tried to inculcate the sense of moral responsibility, social sensitivity, and spiritual outlook. All the schools have a social action department under Chawra Spandan, through which social outreach programs are implemented. Our social work programs have been envisaged to bring positive social changes in the individuals and communities, and Father Diego CMI started a branch of Sagar Diocesan Service Society with the cooperation of the Franciscan Clarice Sisters at Silvani in 1975. For a better service, Rural Development Service Society was formed and came into existence as a cooperative endeavor of the CMI congregation, Sagar Diocesan Service Society, and Kuriakose Elias Service Society in Thrissur. Fathers and sisters regularly visited the interior villages by bullock cart and worked hard to improve the living standards of the poor through the activities like land development and housing schemes. Here we have pioneered many development programs such as tailoring, MCH programs, literacy programs, adult education centers, non-formal education centers, creches, SHG, Mahila Mandals, agricultural assistance, watershed programs, dispensary, rural health programs, etc. In the year of the canonization of Saint Kuriakos, Asha Kiran Haven of Hope Rehabilitation Center for Children with Disability came into existence. Asha Kiran program could avail disability certificate to 1500 people and organize people with disability in various ways like self-help groups, training for self-employment, income generation activity, physiotherapy, corrective surgery and advanced treatment, etc. As innovative program, Aanchal was launched in Bhopal urban area in order to cater to the needs of destitute children of slums, orphans, rag pickers, street children and runaway kids. Railway Childline Bhopal and Narsinghpur were another achievement of Sanjeevani Service Society of St. Paul Province, Bhopal.
On this occasion of the Golden Jubilee of St. Paul Province in its missionary endeavor in Madhya Pradesh, we, the CMI family members, congratulate all the members of St. Paul Province family. It's been God's providential plan that we have been sent to this distant land, and CMI congregation was very grateful to all the pioneering missionaries for the initial breakthrough they made in this tough land, and they could really touch the hearts of especially the poor and the downtrodden. I'm sure this province has a special commitment to the poor. That's why, along with preaching the gospel and evangelization, they have shown greater social commitment, especially through the ministry to the children, the street children, the differently abled, and lot of other schemes for the people around through varied projects. I'm sure this Jubilee celebration will bring about a new momentum in St. Paul Province to create a new legacy of evangelization through multiple and varied ways.
Go into the entire world and proclaim the good news to the whole creation. The relentless works of our fathers show our dedication to the Mother Church. Imparting religious education is an integral part of the formation of the young minds. We effectively work in the parishes, teach catechism, and prepare the children for the first Holy Communion, confirmation, and rectification of marriages, family visit, and other pastoral works. A team of fathers are formed for retreat preaching. Our ashrams have become a trademark for interreligious dialogues and place for God experiences irrespective of caste and creed. True to the spirit of Saint Chavra, St. Paul Province is involved in the communication from the inception. Jyoti Bhavan, the pioneering communication center, was established in Sagar under the Diocese of Sagar. It was under the guidance of Jyoti Bhavan much of the early Christian liturgical prayers and songs were produced for Hindi-speaking Syro-Malabar Christians. The first organized students' movement for a better India in North India was started in Sagar by the CMI priests. Sons, Students' Union for New Society, and the student magazine Pratibha was a part of that movement. In 1990, Navchetna, the regional center for performing arts, literacy and value education, was started in Bhopal. In the field of communication, media training, use of performing arts for evangelization, etc., the efforts of Navchetna Communications is path-breaking. At present, through the student magazine Heights, web TV, applications for homely, etc., it is continuing its work. Every CMI candidate is being formed in Christ by going ahead in the path paved by Saint Chavra and the path followed by many Carmelites. With this aim in mind, St. Paul Province Bhopal started its first formation house in Carmel Ashram Sagar. At present, Carmel Ashram Sagar, CMI Bhavan Padaria, Clements Nivas, Bhamori serve as aspirants' houses. Chavra Dham Budni is serving as the common novitiate house for many CMI provinces of North India and Kamal Niketan Jabalpur for scholastics. At present, we have 112 fathers, 49 brothers who have lived and carried across world the charism and vision of the founding fathers with the original zeal and enthusiasm to continue the mission of Jesus to the ends of the earth. On this occasion of Jubilee, all the members of St. Paul Province thank the Lord for His blessings for the last 50 years.
At this moment of joy, I thank Archbishop Eugene D'Souza. I also thank the bishops and archbishops of the Diocese of Bhopal, Saga of Jabalpur, Nagpur, and Itanagar for their trust and love towards the CMI congregation. During this occasion of the Golden Jubilee of CMI presence in Madhya Pradesh, I also remember with love and gratitude all the religious congregations, especially the Sisters of St. Joseph of Chambéry, Sisters of Jesus, the CMC congregation, and many other religious congregations who have great care and concern in this journey.
We also express our gratitude to all, especially to all the members of the Devmata province, our mother province, CMI congregation, and Most Reverend Father Prior General Paula Chandi.
सारी सृष्टि को सुसमाचार सिखाओ उन बातों को जिन्हें मैंने सिखाया।
जाओ सुनाओ सारी सृष्टि को सुसमाचार जलती रही, प्रभु की करुणा बहती रही। प्रेम की ज्योति जलती रही, प्रभु की करुणा बहती रही।